Copy link. Boom. Bop. Boom. Bop. Boom. Boom. Bam. Create. Copy link. Hmm. All right. Take a sip and I'm ready when you are.
Sick.
Hello and welcome to the Warrior House podcast, where Warrior Pride lives. I'm your host, Ryan Reingart, joined by my co-host, Mike Sangster. Thanks for joining us on episode 131 of the Warrior House podcast. We are back, Sangster, at the same time. It's been a couple of weeks now, going back to April 8th, I think was the last time that you and I got to sit down together and talk about all of the things within Wayne State Athletics. It's good to be back.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We had a couple things come up in the news though before we get to athletics. It looks like President Biersbach has officially taken the oath as the new president of Wayne State. Uh, I didn't really get to look into that one too much, but it has happened, so good stuff for him. I think that probably at the last what do you call it, Board of Governors meeting is when that happened.
Yeah, I think it was sometime over the weekend, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember, but I saw that come across. So it's official now, I suppose, by whatever he has to do to take the oath. I don't know if you have to swear on a textbook or what, but he did it, and he is now the president, official president of Wayne State.
You actually have to swear on that book of Wayne State songs from like 1945 that we've got somewhere.
I would honor that. In addition, Sangster, something I know that you're extremely excited about are
Yes.
improvements to Tom Adams Field. What do we got?
Well, biggest change was that if you look at the back of the stadium, there's been these they changed them in 2018 for the 100 years of Wayne State athletics. It was to coincide with the thing they did for football with having those jerseys with the names of Medal of Honor winners. On the back of the stadium, we had banners with the names of every single uh, Medal of Honor winner in the United States, which really cool stuff. Unfortunately, over the past few years, those banners have been looking a little ratty. Uh, so it was time for them to go, and quite honestly, it was time for something a little more Wayne State themed. I love our soldiers. I love the United States as much as anybody else, but I'll be honest, I never quite understood that whole campaign for 2018 for 100 years of Wayne State athletics. I mean, I get it. There certain sports haven't excelled over the past 100 years, but I felt there was something more you could do. But either way, there's some fresh Wayne State banners out now on Tom Adams Field. Also, we got a not going to say cryptic, but we have a predicting tweet from athletic director Erica Wallace saying that more things are to come. Certainly, we've got the uh, planned improvements to the intramural field to turn into a soccer stadium. Uh, if I had to guess, if you look at the timeline for the last time they replaced the turf at Tom Adams Field, probably about 2014, 2015, if I'm remembering correctly, it's probably time to get some fresh turf at Tom Adams as well. And if I have any guesses, that's probably what's going to be next on the radar.
Yeah, and there's got to be something related to the track coming soon. I mean, we know that that's a pretty dated track at this point. At the very least, some kind of painting. I don't know what it's going to be, but of course, as you mentioned with the soccer field, we've heard rumblings that there's going to be some sort of press I don't want to say box. I don't want to make it seem like we're going to have this great big thing next to the
Oh,
soccer stadium. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I know that that's coming.
actually, there is. If you go again, if you look, Wayne State advertises all their bids for construction and things like that, and if you go on there, they do have the package up for how the soccer stadium is going to look. So basically, what they're going to do is there's going to be a press box. It's going to be on the side of the field closest to Trumbull Ave, uh, kind of over top where the fence is, and then they're going to have stands, uh, not very deep, but just enough lining close to between uh, the football stadium, and then the existing track there. Looks like the scoreboard is going to go uh, kind of close to that Tartar Drive area where the parking lot is, that little dirt parking lot is. And then also looks like they're building another just auxiliary storage building kind of close to where the, oh, what do you call it? That pavilion where they do concessions at for the football field. So exciting stuff coming up on Wayne State's athletics campus.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll definitely keep our eyes open as, like you said, a little bit of a hint coming from athletic director, but very exciting stuff there. So with that, we had a little bit happening over the last week in Wayne State athletics, and I do mean a little bit. It wasn't really a ton that happened. You know, we're getting kind of down to it with some of these spring sports. But starting out, tennis was in action, and we'll talk about GLIAC championships up in Midland. Starting out with the Wayne State women's tennis team. They were taking on Michigan Tech in the first round of the GLIAC tournament, and Wayne State was able to win that one 4-0. Doubles point goes Wayne State's way. Malik, Arafat, Celine Kayakent, and Shantala all get the singles win in that one. And if I remember correctly, it was pretty quick. You get 4 straight ones, and that's really all you need. And the nice thing about that is you get a little bit of a break before you get to go and take on, a team in the next round that hadn't played yet. So they're coming in very fresh at that point. So that was a nice thing to be able to see for this Wayne State women's tennis team.
Yeah, this was one that we expected Wayne State to win. Certainly a much better tennis squad than Michigan Tech, even in kind of a down year by Wayne State standards. Really good stuff from him. Just they pretty much took their lunch money. Unfortunately, it went all the opposite way in Wayne State's next match against Grand Valley. Unfortunately, Grand Valley won that one 4-0. Right off the bat, Grand Valley gets the doubles point, and the singles matches that got credited losses were Malik Arafat, Justine Ballou, and Rebecca Lanes. So unfortunately, Grand Valley, they showed up, they showed out in this one. I didn't really get a chance to see who actually ended up winning the tournament altogether. I think it was Grand Valley as well, but tough break for Wayne State. Kind of a microcosm of how this entire season has gone. You beat the teams that you should have. Teams like Michigan Tech, unfortunately, not being able to come out against Grand Valley. And I'm looking right now. Yes, they did end up winning the entire thing. So tough break for Wayne State in that one.
Yeah, no doubt. So, we'll keep our eyes out for anything that might happen for this Wayne State women's tennis team. I don't know that regionals or anything got selected yet, but maybe we'll have to, we'll get a note on that here, maybe over the break and come back to that in the second half, unless Sangster, you're able to come up with it. While I talk about the Wayne State men's tennis team, they had a little bit more of a tournament, just by virtue of, they came in as not one of the top 2 seeds, so they don't get that bye. So Wayne State men's tennis, they get to take on Roosevelt to start out, and Wayne State wins the first by a final score of 4-1. We get the doubles point, and then George Day, Tom Wasner, and Thomas Mathis all get the singles win in that one. Exactly what you would expect. I think I said it last week on the episode, Sangster, that this team is probably sitting around thinking, how the heck did we not get a top 2 seed in this tournament? And, well, frankly, and if they are thinking that, we're going to talk about the success of them here in just a minute, but definitely a team that I feel like had everything in them to be able to go and make that happen. Didn't get it, but they were able to beat Roosevelt and then continue on to take on Grand Valley. And this was right after the Grand Valley women's tennis team took down our women's tennis team at Wayne State. And to see this Wayne State men's tennis team go out there and win 4-0 was absolutely amazing. And that doubles point, the very first one of this match, was it was a hard fought one. Basically, I think two of the three sets or two of the three matches, if I'm not mistaken, went into extra points. So both teams were fighting really hard to get that doubles point. It goes Wayne State's way, and then Louis Klaus, Tom Wasner, and Thomas Mathis get the singles win in this one. And good thing too, because those unfinished singles events were looking interesting. Not necessarily that they were completely going Grand Valley's way, but they were very, very close matches. So we didn't have to sweat those out too much. Wayne State gets the win, and then they move into championship Saturday. I was going to say Sunday, but it was actually on Saturday.
Yeah, and in that one, they would end up facing Ferris State. Coming into this one, Wayne State was ranked number 20th. Ferris was ranked number 22. Real heavyweight battle here. Unfortunately, Wayne State goes down. Very close, but unfortunately, Wayne State loses 4-3. Right off the bat, Ferris gets the doubles point, so already you're kind of down there. Wayne State was able to keep it close, though, with some singles wins from Tom Wasner, Benjamin Hill, and Harry Forsyth. Unfortunately, the other guys couldn't really squeak one out. Your closest was going to be George Day. He forced a third set, unfortunately, going down in that one. Otherwise, the other two guys, unfortunately, those ones really weren't all that close. So certainly there was opportunity for Wayne State here in this one, but didn't go Wayne State's way here this year.
Yeah, and I was actually watching this one on Saturday. I was watching George Day's set. I was following along a little bit in this one because I was really, really hoping that this Wayne State men's tennis team was going to be able to get the championship, and they were close. But that George Day match was very, very close. You get into that third set, and it ended up being, I believe, a 6-4 win for Ferris State. I'm watching this, just thinking like, okay, Ferris State has I think it was Kevin Kovacs, I think is his name for Ferris State. He's been around for a little bit now, and he had the serve in, I think the final set. And I'm like, if George can get this one, I feel like we're going to be able to win because he's going to get the serve back. We're going to have the advantage 6-5, and I felt comfortable. It just didn't end up happening. But all that to be said, I'm not too down about it. Just the way that the season went, this team was Wayne State was a very good team, and Ferris State's also a very good team. I mean, for the GLIAC men's tennis tournament, I believe if I was reading online correctly, Ferris State and Wayne State have been the winners of this tournament since 2015. Like it's been between the two of them. That goes back to when Northwood was in the GLIAC. That was the last time a non-Ferris State and Wayne State team won the GLIAC men's tennis tournament. So, it runs through those two teams. If you're not at Wayne State and Ferris State, have fun not winning a championship. That's all that's all I'm here to say.
And just to put that in perspective, that's like, I mean, certainly we were in college at that point in time. Some of the guys on this team weren't even in high school the last time that either Wayne State or Ferris didn't win it. So that's some crazy to think about. So really good stat pull by you. Unfortunately, neither Wayne State men's nor women's tennis end up winning a GLIAC championship here. Men get close, 4-3, pretty much as close as you can get. I did look it up. We're going to be waiting for a selection show for both the men's and women's teams coming up on May 4th. So by this time next week, we'll have an answer for you as to whether or not we see more Wayne State tennis action.
Yep, good find there. Some track and field action. We were kind of talking before we hit the record button on this week's episode. Like, there's a lot of podium finishes, and it takes us a little bit to get through track and field. So I do feel a little bit bad that sometimes it feels like we blow through track and field. They are currently in the GLIAC Outdoor Championships right now as we're talking. So, but before that, last week they were at the Hillsdale Tune-Up, and this was their last opportunity before GLIAC Championships. But before we get to that, I know before, there was a note posted by the Wayne State Athletic site that after the story was posted about the Hillsdale Tune-Up, Emily Gordon actually competed at the GVSU Extra Weekend Meet. And this was on Saturday evening, and she posted the second fastest 1,500-meter time in program history. And this was not like half a second behind the school best that was set back by Brittany Johnson in 2014 at the NCAA Outdoor National Championship. So if that's not telling you, if everything these last couple of weeks we've been talking about Emily Gordon, everything Wayne State Athletics has been posting about everything that she's been doing, the Wayne State a Warrior Weekly getting posted about like everyone around track and field as it pertains to Wayne State has been talking about Emily Gordon. That sums it up right there. She's that close to being, you know, school best in school history week after week. So I wanted to throw that out really quick. But with that being said, Hillsdale tune-up happened. The 100-meter dash, Sasha Gay Thompson ended up getting second place in that one. The 1,500-meter run, Katie Rohrer gets first place. She's a transfer from Eastern Michigan, as well as Reese Hansen gets second place. Just dominated the podium there. Emily Rudlaff and Remy Flans get podium finish in the 5,000-meter run. Looking at the 4x100-meter relay, Marissa Madia, Lauren Wooten, Hannah Bastionson, and Avery Wilson end up getting first place in that one. Congrats to them. 100-meter hurdles, looks like Megan Zanau and Kanisha Thomas get first and second place, respectively. Looking over at the high jump here, we had Ava Steinebel gets tied for first place. And then finally, the long jump, Nicole Warren gets tied for second place in that one. And she actually was sixth in school history in that one. So a great showing. There's not been any, we're not going to be talking too much about track and field here in the second half because they're currently competing. So we're not going to really be talking about a whole lot of what they have going on right now, but they're doing some amazing things, some of these athletes on this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And certainly some of that plays into, hopefully we'll see some of that translate into some results at the GLIAC championships when we get them. Moving on to like our team of the spring, it is baseball. They were wrapping up GLIAC play against Purdue Northwest at home. And shocker of shockers, Wayne State wins the series 3-1. Starting out, Wayne State ends up winning game one. Hold your horses here, 14-0. And another one of those games where you wish you could steal some more runs and put them on senior day. But first off, in this one, there were 4 home runs in this game, 7 doubles, and 3 stolen bases. And Will Lowry just completely shut down Purdue Northwest. Looking at game 2, Wayne State wins this one. Again, another shutout, 3-0. It was combined no-hitter by Evan Langlois and Philip Miller. More on him in a bit. Also, there were 8 strikeouts, and defense definitely had a part in this one as well. But another really good game for Wayne State here. Second game of the doubleheader, third game in the series. Wayne State wins 4-2. Another game with a few double stolen bases. Little more like small ball won the day in this one. And finally, Purdue Northwest has to come out and spoil senior day. They end up winning 5-4. Kind of a boring game until the 9th inning. There were a lot of scoring in the 9th inning. Wayne State almost makes a comeback here, but not quite. So either way, Wayne State wins the series 3-1. Senior day spoiled by Purdue Northwest, but still really good stuff from Wayne State, setting them up for a nice GLIAC postseason run.
Yeah, no doubt. And talking about that game number 2, because I know that's a pretty big thing. Like no hitters in general. I will say, especially in college baseball. I mean, it feels like the offense is just at another level. And when you get into MLB, almost knock out, I don't know, almost everybody's a good pitcher. Like, it feels like it's more likely, but I don't know for sure without looking at the numbers. But all that to be said, like it's still very impressive to see a no-hitter regardless. But then I see, like you said, thanks to 8 strikeouts in that one. So I don't remember if that was the 7 or the 9 inning game. I think it was the 7 inning game. I'm sorry, I think that was the 9 inning game. But even then, like, you see 8 strikeouts on there. Like, yeah, your pitcher's out there wheeling and dealing and getting down an average, basically like a strikeout per inning, if you will, which means the other 2 outs per inning are coming because, the pitcher's getting ground balls and your defense is able to carry it out and get the throw out, a fly out. Maybe they had a quick turnaround glove throw over to whatever it was. Like the defense does not get credited quite the same when it comes to no hitters, but like in this case, I feel like they definitely deserved a little bit in that one. And we'll give it to them. The entirety of the Wayne State baseball defensive team had a great game in game number 2, and it deserves an extra shout out there.
Yeah, and a little more on the pitching on that one. So we had the no-hitter from both Evan Langlois and Philip Miller combining for that no-hitter. Here's a fun fact. They were both high school teammates. Really good stuff. Also, Philip Miller got GLIAC Pitcher of the Week recognition. He had made 2 appearances out of the bullpen. He pitched a total of 7 innings. He gave up just one earned run, obviously not in that game, and on one hit for a combined 1.29 ERA. He had 9 strikeouts, only one walk, and 0.45 batting average against. So really good stuff from Philip Miller. Also really good stuff since he's a senior. So way to close out your career at Wayne State with GLIAC Pitcher of the Week recognition.
Yeah, no doubt. So good stuff from our Wayne State baseball team. We will be talking about them here in the second half before they get to GLIAC tournament play. Before that, we got the softball team, and this is the last sport that we had over the last week. And our Wayne State softball team was taking on Purdue Northwest, and Purdue Northwest won. They swept the Saturday doubleheader, 7-1 in game one, and the bats were just going off for Purdue Northwest in this one. They got some home runs, they got some doubles, and when they didn't, they stole some bases to get into scoring position. And that just, that's how you get to 7 runs. There's not really many other ways to get there. So bummer in that one. But can the softball team turn around in game two? They weren't able to do that. Definitely kept the offense a little bit more in check. And we were able to put a little bit more on the offensive side where the softball, it was a 4-2 win for Purdue Northwest in this one. Only 4 hits for Wayne State, which is just not good enough. Your pitching, your defense can do so much, but unless that 4 hits means that you are so patient at bat and getting on base and stealing bases and manufacturing runs another way, it's not going to do much for you. So a bummer in that one because it definitely felt like, talking about this weekend before we get to the Grand Valley doubleheader, this was that one where you probably had to go out and sweep. I'm going to be honest with you. You probably had to go out and sweep that one. You were at home for this one, and you had a really good opportunity in front of you with the team that you're kind of competing with in the standings, and it didn't end up happening. So bummer there, and it doesn't get any better on Sunday, Sangster.
No, it really does not. Wayne State ends up also losing in that game, 3-2. Hunter Neer, for what's worth, does get a home run and double. We have a note on here that's worth looking into her stats this season, and yes, it definitely is. Right now, she has played in every game. She's started every game she's played in. Batting average of 244. Let's see. She has 6 home runs, 3 triples, 7 doubles, and a fielding percentage of 927. So, yeah, some really good stuff from here. Right now, let's see if there's anything cool here. Yeah, so some good stuff from here. There are a couple interesting single game stats here. Earlier, well, actually, this is all from last year. This is from 2025. So let me try and find some current stats. Here we go, game by game statistics. Right now, she is this year batting 317. She has 5 home runs, 7 triples, 8 doubles, 17 RBIs. So yeah, some really good stuff. Playing it in 45 games this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I threw that on our agenda here because, it felt like every time I was talking about softball, Hunter Neer showed up, either getting a home run, getting a triple, and she was just constantly on the scoring sheet. And of course, if you're a starter and you're getting, the most at bats of anybody on the team by a little bit, just over Maddie Hool. But then some of the numbers that you put up there, like, yeah, she's got a handful of strikeouts here or there, but she's loading, she's the leader when it comes to home runs. Her average, like you said, Sangster, is 317. I mean, like, a lot of things were kind of just showing out. So, I mean, there's definitely bright spots for this team. I mean, the Hool sisters are also, 3 of those that are on, the stat sheet every time we talk about this Wayne State softball team. Hunter Neer is on the stat sheet almost every time we talk about this softball team. but the softball team just isn't winning as much as we would like to see. I mean, you had two
Yep.
double headers, back to back at home this weekend. And Grand Valley's a good team. I'm not going to take anything away from Grand Valley in this one. And I'm certainly not going to say that Purdue Northwest is a pushover. But at some point, you gotta what
Gotta
kind of
win
team
games.
you got to win games. I mean, yeah, thank you, saying so.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. And you held your own against Grand Valley. Sidney Long, that's another one. That's a pitcher who's constantly going out there, and it seems like putting up really good efforts, but the wins just aren't there for this team, and it's a real bummer. And I wish that wasn't the case because I don't know. This one stinks a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does. And we'll talk a little bit more about the implications of this weekend series against Purdue Northwest and Grand Valley in the next segment. But we do have a few other happier things to talk about coming up for Wayne State Athletics, I think.
We definitely do. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back, and we will get to it. Yeah.
Let's do conference standings.
Castler's not waiting on you, is he?
No,
Oh,
I told
okay.
I told him to come around like 6:30, and then I text him, we're recording now, come back around 6:45.
Okay. We'll be good. All right. Like, you're just sitting over there like, Ryan, shut up. Stop talking. Yeah, we'll get to the second half. And
Yeah, pretty quick.
yeah, I was asking about tennis. Forgot that I put the tennis note on there.
Oh,
So, yeah.
yeah, softball needs to win some games if they want to. They have 4.
Yeah, I mean they're not in danger, I don't think, of dropping into last place because I
They
don't think
need to they need to
Roosevelt
get
can win.
they need to be top 6 to get into the
Oh,
tournament. And right now you got 3 teams at 11 wins ahead of them.
I so one of them needs to lose out. We need to win out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean
Fun.
that's high. That is highly unlikely. Also, seeing that Purdue Northwest has only played 22 conference games, that means that they have
They have
probably
more.
six games left.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
we won't dwell too much on softball. We'll try to.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm good if you are.
Yep.
And we're back. So we talked really briefly about the tennis selection show coming up, but just to reiterate, May 4th at 8 p.m. is the men's tennis D2 tournament selection show. Following that up at 8:30 p.m. again on May 4th is the women's tennis selection show. So we'll definitely be keeping our eye out on that. In addition, the Wayne State women's track and field team is currently in action as we speak. We don't have anything to report on at this point, but they are competing at the GLIAC Outdoor Championships. We will be talking much more about them next week. So we will definitely cut out some time to be able to talk about that. But some of the stuff that we have coming up, we have a lot of very exciting and probably big opportunities coming up for some of these teams. So starting out, this Wayne State baseball team currently sitting at 34-10 overall, 17-7 in conference play. NCBWA, now help me out, Sangster.
National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association.
And for whatever reason, on like Wingate's website, or I can't remember whoever's hosting them.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the poll is hosted on like Wingate University's website. I don't get why the NCBWA can't host their own. Doesn't matter. Right now, Wayne State is still number 14th. Looking at the GLIAC standings, Wayne State has finished up they finished up GLIAC conference play. So right now, 17-7 is where they are at. They are very comfortably in second place. The next team down, I believe it was Davenport. They can't catch them. Davenport's at like 11 conference wins right now. So even if they win out, doesn't matter. Wayne State is still at least going to get second. What Wayne State needs right now is we need to be the biggest Parkside fans in the world. Grand Valley is ahead of you in first place, currently up by one more win. So we need at least uh, three wins by Parkside over Grand Valley. If Grand Valley wins two of those games, we're officially in second place. If Grand Valley only wins one, we'll see how the tiebreakers go. At least there's some share of the regular season GLIAC title there. Really, the only implication then is for what do you call it? GLIAC championship seeding. We'll get to that when we get to that. But before that, there's one more weekend series, kind of one that you would expect to be played in the wintertime, but just the way the schedule works out, there is a weekend series down at number 20 Rollins, down in the Sunshine State Conference. You can just say that. Rolls right off the
SSC.
tongue.
SSC.
It just means more. Right now, Rollins is sitting at a record of 30-12, 20-7. Definitely in a very good conference. Certainly, those schools down in Florida are very good at baseball. They get to play it year round. We necessarily don't. So Wayne State will be down in Winter Park, Florida. It's going to be the last regular season action before the GLIAC tournament comes up. Interesting note, this year it's going to be at what was Jimmy John's Field. Now it's called UWM Field up in Utica. It's right by my place. So if anybody wants to come out, hang out with Sangster at the GLIAC Championship, I'll probably be down there. So big stuff happening for the baseball team. Last bit of action before GLIAC Championships.
Yeah, definitely. This is a really exciting one. I mean, you think about it, you get to travel down as a team, go and play a team out of your conference, and just that last vibe as a team, go play a couple of games against a very good team. Like you said, they're number 20 by the NCBWA,
Yep.
hosted by Wingate. And this is just a really cool opportunity for them. So I hopefully they get down there. Hopefully we see a couple of wins. And hopefully this team comes back, feeling good about themselves, regardless of the wins or loss. Come back, feel good. Let's get into the GLIAC tournament time. GLIAC is going to shake out and do what they're going to do. Where we end up is where we end up, and we're going to be ready to go. So good luck to our Wayne State baseball team. Again, it definitely feels like the team of the spring at this point. They're competing at such a high level, pushing for a top 10 ranking in the country and postseason right ahead of them. So they're definitely going to be a part of that. So a team that is, we kind of closed out the first segment talking about I'll say it, they're kind of struggling a little bit and in a little bit, almost up against the ropes is this Wayne State softball team, and it stinks. I really thought this Wayne State softball team was going to be in a better spot this season, but just the way the scheduling is working out, the way the team is playing, and everything is coming together, just it isn't quite where I don't think any of us want this team to be. But nonetheless, they're sitting at 16-29 overall, 8-16 in conference play, the most comfortably placed seventh place team in GLIAC standings, and barring anything crazy, I don't see a whole lot of movement happening here. It's a bad thing, honestly, because it sounds like Sangster, I think you looked this up, or you remember this from previous seasons, that the GLIAC tournament is the top six teams, and we're seventh. So our way of getting into that sixth seed is win out, and one of those three teams ahead of you has to lose out. That's I believe mathematically the only way that that's going to happen. So, dreary end to the season. And on top of that, as if winning out in general wasn't hard enough, you get to take on, honestly, one of the best softball teams probably in the Midwest. I don't know about in the country, but a very good softball team and your kind of travel partner team in Saginaw Valley, who gets to come to town for a doubleheader. I'm sorry, we head up to Saginaw Valley for a doubleheader on Friday. And then Saginaw Valley comes on down to Wayne State on Saturday for a doubleheader. So we get them twice. But Saginaw Valley is 31-13 overall and 20-4 in conference play. Not an easy opponent to end the season on.
No, definitely not. And for what it's worth, Saginaw Valley right now is leading the GLIAC. They are they're pretty much going to be the first place team unless something wild happens with. Again, we kind of need Wayne State to get some major upsets here, but right now, Saginaw Valley is at 20-4. The next best team is Ferris and Grand Valley. They both have 15 wins. There's some discrepancies with how many conference games have been played so far, but yeah, right now you're playing the best in the GLIAC. It's gonna take some crazy stuff to happen, I think, for Wayne State to jump up into that sixth spot. Certainly, it can mathematically, yeah, it can happen. They're not out of it yet, but big things I think need to happen for Wayne State here for the last few games of the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we don't mean to be too much of a downer about it, but, that comes from a place of this team was kind of showing us that they took a step in the right direction. We were feeling good about it, and it just hasn't shaken out that way. So,
Yep.
There's definitely bright spots. Some of our pitching, we mentioned Sidney Long is a fantastic pitcher. He's really putting up some good numbers. Some of the bats have been there, but putting it all together and being able to win a series or win a doubleheader, sweep a doubleheader, I guess, when you need to, but also split when, it's a little bit tough, being able to squeak out a win. It just, when you're looking at a conference record of 8-16, is very easy to say that hasn't happened, and nobody wants an 8-16 conference record. But unfortunate that is the reality for this Wayne State softball team.
Yep, kind of a bummer there. But what's not a bummer, and for our last team that we're going to talk about this week, the women's golf team has been selected to go to the NCAA East Regional. That's going to take place next Monday through Wednesday. It's going to be in Findlay, Ohio. Just right down 75. For the record, men's golf was also selected to regionals. We're going to cover that next week because they don't start play until a little bit after. So, yeah, best of luck to the women's golf team. Big things happened last year. Tingyu Kwa was able to get out of the region and compete on the national stage. Certainly looking to repeat that. Maybe as a whole team. Hopefully, at least we get a Wayne State golfer to come out and go to nationals.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you want to look up a place that you probably want to go and play golf at, look up the Findlay Country Club, which is where this is going to be happening. There's some really cool pictures out there. A lot of water running through. Findlay's a cool city as well. And this is a really, really cool opportunity for this Wayne State women's golf team. So, early next week, we're definitely going to be following along. I know Sangster and I will be following along with the stats, and I'm sure chatting back and forth about the happenings from these two teams. But that's what we got, Sangster. Anything else to add in before we wrap up here?
Nope, I think we got it.
So with that,
fun fact, the Findlay Country Club is the home course for the Findlay Oilers. That's pretty solid. Sweet. I mean, it's no TPC, but it's a pretty solid course.
It looks pretty cool. So with that, as always, we appreciate everybody listening in on episode 131 of the Warrior House Podcast.
And remember, it's always a great day to be a Wayne State Warrior.
Nice.